Welcome back to Coins X Tales. We're exploring rare Lincoln wheat pennies, coins that have made people rich. Let's find out why you should never overlook these coins. Because who knows, a single coin could change your life. Don't miss this. Top 1. The legendary 1956 Lincoln wheat penny from the United States of America. This coin may look ordinary at first glance, but don't let that simple brown surface fool you. The 1956 Lincoln wheat penny was struck at the Denver Mint, which is why you see the small D mint mark below the date. It features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the classic wheat ears design on the reverse, a design that collectors proudly call the Wheat Cent series. More than 1 billion 1956 pennies were produced, so you might think it is common. Yes, in circulated condition, it is widely available. But here is where it becomes interesting. Finding one in high mint state condition, especially with full red original luster, is much harder than most people realize. Coins from this year were heavily used in circulation, which means pristine examples are scarce and highly desirable. Collectors look very closely at the strike quality on this coin. Denver Mint coins from the 1950s sometimes show weaker strikes, especially on Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalk lines on the reverse. A sharply struck 1956 D with strong details and blazing red color can command serious attention at auction. Now let's talk about errors, because this is where things can get exciting. Some 1956 Lincoln wheat pennies have been found with repunched mint marks. This happens when the D mint mark was stamped more than once in slightly different positions. These RPM varieties are highly collectible. There are also off-center strikes, die cracks, and occasional double die characteristics, although strong double dies are rare for this specific year compared to other famous dates. Another factor that makes this coin valuable is its composition. Made of 95% copper, it carries intrinsic metal value, but the real money is in condition and rarity of error varieties. Now let's talk real market value. In circulated condition, a 1956 Lincoln wheat penny is generally worth between 10 cents and 50 cents depending on where in uncirculated mint state condition. Values usually range from $5 to $25 depending on color and grade. In high-grade mint state red condition such as MS66, examples have sold for around $1,000 in strong markets. At major auctions, superb gem red examples graded at the very top have reached prices close to $3,000. That is a huge difference from just 1 cent face value. So before you spend that old wheat penny sitting in your drawer, take a closer look. Check the mint mark. Examine the color. Look for repunched mint marks or unusual features. One tiny detail could turn an ordinary coin into a collector's treasure. Coin collecting is not just about money. It is about history in your hands. Every 1956 Lincoln wheat penny passed through stores, pockets, and generations. And today, one of them might be sitting quietly in your collection waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed learning about the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny and want to discover more hidden coin treasures from American history, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next valuable coin story. Keep searching your change, because your next penny could be worth thousands. Top 2. We are diving into one of the most talked about wheat pennies in American coin collecting history. The 1955 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark. When you see no mint mark under the date, that means this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. During the 1950s, Philadelphia coins did not carry a mint mark, which is why collectors call it 1955 no mint mark instead of 1955 P. At first glance, it looks like a normal wheat penny. On the front you see President Abraham Lincoln. On the back, the classic wheat ears design that collectors love so much. But the 1955 no mint mark penny is famous for something that changed the coin world forever. Let's talk about rarity. In regular condition, the standard 1955 no mint mark penny is not extremely rare. Over 30 million were minted. You can still find circulated examples in old collections and estate coin jars. But high-grade red uncirculated coins are much harder to find because many were used heavily in daily commerce. Now here is where it gets exciting. The 1955 no mint mark penny is legendary because of the famous 1955 double die obverse variety. This error shows dramatic doubling on the date and the words "In God We Trust and Liberty." The doubling is so strong you can clearly see two impressions with the naked eye. It happened due to a misalignment during the die creation process at the Philadelphia Mint. Collectors consider the 1955 double die obverse one of the most famous error coins in United States history. It is a dream coin for many coin lovers. But remember, not every 1955 no-mint mark penny is the valuable double die. You must check carefully. Many people confuse machine doubling with true double die doubling. Real double die coins show thick, separated letters and numbers with clear doubling, not flat shelf-like doubling. Besides the famous double die, there are also minor die cracks, off-center strikes, and other small errors that can add extra value depending on condition. Now let's talk real market value. For a normal 1955 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny in circulated condition, the value is usually between 20 cents and $1 depending on where.in uncirculated red condition. Prices typically range from $20 to over $100 depending on grade. Now for the famous 1955 double die obverse.in circulated condition. Genuine examples often sell between $1,000 and $3,000 depending on grade.in high uncirculated grades. Auction prices have reached $15,000 to over $50,000 for top-quality red examples. That is an incredible difference from just 1 cent face value. So if you ever find a 1955 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark, do not rush to spend it. Take a magnifying glass. Look closely at the date and lettering. That small detail could change everything. Coin collectors around the world still hunt for this legendary penny. And maybe, just maybe, one is hiding in an old collection waiting for you to discover it. That if you love valuable coins and hidden treasures, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next rare coin story. Keep checking your wheat pennies, because history might be sitting in your pocket right now. Top 3. Get ready, coin lovers, because today we are talking about a classic copper treasure from the golden age of American coinage, the 1952 D Lincoln wheat penny. The small D mint mark under the date tells us this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. On the front you see the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, and on the back the beautiful twin wheat ears design that collectors proudly call the Wheat Cent Series. At first glance, the 1952 D might seem common. After all, the Denver Mint produced more than 700 million of these pennies. That is a huge number. But here is what makes it interesting for serious collectors. Most of these coins entered heavy circulation. They were used in grocery stores, gas stations, and everyday transactions across America. Because of that, finding one today in high-grade mint state condition with full original red luster is much harder than the mintage number suggests. Denver Mint coins from the early 1950s are also known for strike quality differences. Some 1952 D pennies show softer details in Lincoln's hair or weaker lines in the wheat stalks. A sharply struck example with strong detail and clean surfaces stands out and commands premium attention. Now let's talk about varieties and errors. The 1952 D Lincoln wheat penny is known for several repunched mint mark varieties. This happens when the D mint mark was punched into the die more than once in slightly different positions. Under magnification, collectors can see clear separation lines or extra impressions around the D. These RPM varieties are highly collectible and can increase value significantly depending on visibility and condition. You can also find die cracks, die chips, and occasional off-center strikes. While dramatic double dies are not common for this year like the famous 1955 issue, strong repunched mint marks and high-grade condition are what collectors focus on most. Another important factor is color designation. Brown coins are more common. Red-brown coins are more desirable. But full red mint state coins are the most valuable because they retain their original copper brilliance. Now let's talk real market value.in circulated condition. A 1952 D Lincoln wheat penny is generally worth between 10 cents and 50 cents depending on where.in uncirculated mint state condition. Values usually range from $5 to $30 depending on grade and color. High-grade mint state red examples such as MS66 have sold for around $800 to over $1,000 in strong auction markets. Exceptional top population coins have reached prices approaching $2,000 when demand is high. From 1 cent to thousands of dollars, that is the power of condition, rarity, and collector demand. So before you ignore that old wheat penny with a D under the date, take a closer look. Check the mint mark for repunching. Examine the strike quality. Look at the color. That small copper coin could be more special than you think. If you enjoy discovering hidden value in everyday coins, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next rare coin story. Keep searching your collection, because your next valuable penny might already be waiting for you. Top 4. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat penny with no mint mark. If there is no mint mark under the date, that means this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. During the early 1950s, Philadelphia did not use a mint mark, so collectors simply call it the 1953 no mint mark wheat penny. On the front, you see President Abraham Lincoln. On the back, the iconic wheat ears design that was used from 1909 to 1958. This design represents one of the most beloved coin series in United States history. Now let's talk about rarity. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 250 million 1953 pennies. That means in circulated condition, this coin is not rare. You can still find worn examples in old jars, estate collections, and coin rolls. But here is where collectors pay attention. Most of these coins were heavily used in circulation. Finding one today in high uncirculated mint state condition, especially with full original red copper color, is much more difficult. Over time, copper darkens and turns brown. Bright red examples that have been preserved carefully are the ones that bring premium prices. Strike quality is another important factor. Some 1953 no mint mark pennies show softer details in Lincoln's hair and the wheat lines on the reverse. A sharply struck coin with clean surfaces and strong luster will always attract more serious buyers. Now let's talk about errors and varieties. While the 1953 no mint mark is not famous for a dramatic double die like the legendary 1955 issue, there are still collectible varieties. Minor double dies exist, along with die cracks, die chips, and occasional off-center strikes. There are also some repunched mint mark varieties on other 1953 issues, but since this one has no mint mark, collectors mainly search for die varieties and strong strike quality. Even small die breaks or interesting error features can add extra value depending on how visible and dramatic they are. Now let's discuss real market value. In circulated condition, a 1953 no mint mark Lincoln Wheat penny is usually worth between 10 cents and 40 cents depending on where in uncirculated mint state condition. Values typically range from $5 to $25 depending on grade and color. High-grade mint state red examples such as MS-66 have sold at auction for around $500 to over $800 depending on market demand. Top-quality coins with exceptional eye appeal have approached $1,000 in strong auction environments. From just 1 cent to hundreds of dollars, that is the difference condition can make. So, if you find a 1953 wheat penny without a mint mark, do not ignore it. Check the surfaces. Look at the color. Study the details. That small copper coin might be worth far more than you think. If you enjoy learning about valuable wheat pennies and hidden treasures from American history, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next rare coin story. Keep searching your old coins, because history and value could be sitting right in your pocket. Top 5. We are talking about the final chapter of an American coin legend, the 1958 D. Lincoln Wheat penny. The small D mint mark under the date tells us this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. On the front you see President Abraham Lincoln. On the back, the famous wheat ears design that had been used since 1909. And here is something very important. 1958 was the last year the wheat penny design was ever produced. In 1959, the reverse changed to the Lincoln Memorial. That makes the 1958 D the end of an era. Now you might think because it was the final year it must be rare. The truth is more interesting. The Denver Mint produced over 800 million 1958 D pennies. That is a very large mintage. In circulated condition, this coin is still common today. Many were saved because collectors knew the wheat design was ending. But condition is everything. Finding a 1958 D in worn brown condition is easy. Finding one in blazing red mint state with strong strike and clean surfaces is much harder. Copper is very sensitive. Over time it darkens, spots, or gets small marks. High-grade red examples with smooth luster are what serious collectors compete for. Now let's talk about errors and varieties. The 1958 D is not known for a major double die like some earlier years, but there are repunched mint mark varieties where the D was punched more than once into the die. Under magnification you may see slight separation lines around the D. These RPM varieties are collectible and can bring strong premiums in higher grades. There are also occasional die cracks, die chips, and off-center strikes. Dramatic mint errors from the final year of wheat pennies are especially interesting to collectors because they combine error rarity with historical significance. Another important factor is that 1958 also has a famous double die obverse from Philadelphia without mint mark, which is extremely rare and valuable. But remember, that variety does not have a D mint mark. The 1958 D focuses more on condition rarity and mint mark varieties. Now let's talk real market value .in circulated condition. A 1958 D Lincoln wheat penny is usually worth between 10 cents and 30 cents depending on where .in uncirculated mint state condition. Values typically range from $5 to $20 depending on grade and color. High-grade mint state red examples such as MS66 have sold for around $500 to over $700 at auction. Top. Population superb gem examples have reached close to $1,000 when demand is strong. From 1 cent to nearly $1,000. And all because of condition and collector demand. This coin represents the final year of the wheat design that collectors have loved for decades. It carries history, nostalgia, and opportunity to sow before you ignore that 1958 D wheat penny. Take a closer look. Check the mint mark. Examine the color. Study the strike. The last wheat penny from Denver might be more valuable than you think. If you enjoy discovering rare and valuable coins from American history, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next hidden treasure story. Keep searching your collection, because even the last wheat penny can still surprise you.